It's a great honor and an absolute privilege to be hosting an eminent panel like you at our Technology Game Changer series on global 5G trends and its implications for India's digital future. I'm Avinash, one of the founders of Global Talent Exchange. To steer this discussion forward, we have Professor Lal from the IIT Delhi.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you for setting this up. And this is indeed a privilege to moderate the panel, which is full of very, very eminent participants. As we go along, you will hear their views, and I'm sure you will come out very, very well informed about what 5G means to India and the world in general. Mr. Jalan from Dell, you first, please.
A quick introduction, a quick words about myself. So I'm currently working for Dell Technologies, heading their 5G operations for APJ, India and China region.
And next we have Rakesh Pandey Erickson.
Now, something about myself. I have been about 20 to 23 years of experience in the purely into the telecom world in wireless and the broadband.
Next we have Gaurav from Ericsson again.
I have roughly 21 years of experience. Other than the chip designing and sales, direct sales, I've pretty much done it all.
Next we have Ajay from Intel.
I work for Intel. Myself, Ankur Chauhan. I'm part of Airtel R&D.
Next, we have Pamela Kumar from TSDSI.
I represent TSDSI, the Telecom Standards Development Society of India. I'm currently the Director General at TSDSI.
This is Prasanna Kumar. I work for the Nokia R&D Center in Bengaluru.
We have Subhash from HFCL.
So, little bit about me. In my current role, I am leading the 5G R&D activity for HFCL.
And finally, we have Radhe from Jio.
So good morning, everybody. And thanks, Professor Brijesh and Avinash for inviting me to share my views on this platform. I head the technology development for Reliance Jio. And I have close to 25 years of industry experience. I worked across multiple domains, which include technology, product and solution, market dynamics, systems and RF engineering. And I worked across multiple markets, including India, North America, and Europe. In terms of technology, I believe that these are very exciting times when a number of technologies, including 5G, AI/ML, cloud, IoT, all are maturing at the same time. So I think that we as a country can lead this technology revolution. Thanks.
Defined at ITU with the enhanced mobile broadband, MMTC, massive machine type communication, and ultra reliable and low latency communication. So 5G is really about getting into the verticals. And so communication is no longer a vertical, it's become a horizontal in its true sense. And the convergence of communication and IT has truly happened in the 5G era, so to say. And now, it's about taking all this technology, including applications like drones and robotics, combining them into this and taking them into all kinds of use cases in the vertical. So it's basically the revolution now is about use cases, vertical industries, every aspect of how we live, how we work, how we play, how we go to war. Every aspect is being transformed with technology. So understanding the use cases and building these solutions and positioning them in the right place in the triangle, right? You don't need the same level of reliability or the same level of density for every application. Some are densities, need more density. Some require more speed, throughput, right? Some require more reliability and lower latency. So you need to position your use case at the right place and build solutions for that.
5G has done three fundamental things. First, we need to understand. One is every time there is an advancement in the 4G, we have been talking about spectral efficiency, that able to send more bits per megahertz of a frequency. So that has been a constant endeavor, right from 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G. So there's no denying on that fact. Second is, even with that, even with the better spectral efficiency, what we have tried doing is we have tried using the radio waves energy to focus using beam formation for a better experience. Now that better experience could be by a user or a mobile handset user, or it could be by an enterprise customer. Now here, coming to massive IoT, FWA, and critical IoT or URLCC, what we have done is we have categorized 5G from multiple dimensions: latency, device density in the network, mobility, reliability, availability, speed, and throughput. Now you pick 8 of them, and out of these 8, combination of 3 or more would classify a different class of service. For example, FWA is more for your fixed wireless access. In a lot of countries in Europe, what we are seeing is, because of this pandemic, the broadband cost of deploying FWA, providing broadband to home using FWA has considerably decreased compared to the cost of fiber. So FTTH as a technology taking a backseat, because FWA from 5G is becoming more prominent, easy to deploy, easy to operate. That's part one. For massive IoT and critical IoT, what we have tried doing is massive IoT, small devices like your smart cities, your smart meters, connected cars. I would still say connected cars, sending a lot of, like a Google Map application. So you can make a good decision to navigate, a city traffic. You can also do a telemedicine. You can have a doctor sitting somewhere, can do a consult of your education is one forte where you can use massive IoT, metering devices, CCTV monitoring, all of this for citizen services. This is one aspect. Critical IoT, when I say critical IoT or URLCC, autonomous cars, because you want the latency needs are high, because if it is a self-driven car, you want the decision to be made very faster. Otherwise, the car may hit a roadblock. But what we have seen that Tesla cars getting into the accident in the US. So you can improve that. Now the better part of this is India has a lot of accidental death. Now, if I have a connected car or a autonomous car realized here, there are roughly around 2 lakhs people who died because of the accident. You can actually use some of these use cases to fulfill the precision gap created by human skill gap, even across industry, across function. So that's a very strong use case that I feel very passionately feel about, because self-driven car, if you can bring down 20% of the death rate less, that will be a huge advantage, because the accidental death actually has a huge economic impact on the family as well as a nation. So, and latency is one need, and the another point is robotic surgery. We have seen people doing robotic surgery, doctor instructing it from the remote, and because the capacity in terms of number of humans who can be a very super specialized doctors, or can be available at every place. So there we can use URLCC, a robotics arm doing the surgery in the remote part of the country where it is not possible just in time for a doctor to arrive or reach. So all of that. So disparity in terms of resources of a country like India or any big country, so the disparity in terms of education, disparity in terms of healthcare, disparity in terms of citizen service, all of that could be handled by your massive IoT and critical IoT.
Yeah, thanks, Professor Brajesh. And I was listening to the previous speakers, Radhe, Prasanna, and Gaurav. So if I really look at it, 5G becoming the use case centric, the enterprise centric, and very different set of user requirements coming in. The artificial intelligence cannot be far away from that. So I specifically will pick up the analogy that Gaurav picked up. He talked about the 5G as a highway. So what I would say is, if previous generation technologies like 4G was a state highway, it has become a national highway. And in this national highway, you also have a high speed access to this national highway. The highway is just not a transport, but it also has the highway restaurants, the highway residential complexes, the highway, the hotels, and the luxury resorts.
Right.
Now, when you think about it, the traditional network has been a transport network, but it is also 5G has brought in the computing capabilities. So the cloud computing, the edge computing is integral part of it. Now, when all of these things come together, there is a need for intelligence, there is a need for federation. So specifically on URLLC. So if you look into remote driving or telesurgery, this kind of use cases, which has a combination of cyber physical systems augmenting with human intelligence, collaborative robot in the manufacturing floor, all of that require a lot of intelligence, and that is extremely fast. So if I have to look into India context, can edge computing with the connectivity and intelligence federation from the edge computing is that? Look into the stadium experience. Prasanna talked about stadium experience. If I had to give this video analytics to identify the users or the players, or really to pick up a camera feed, would I go all the way to the cloud or do I federate it from the edge computing node? Those are the intelligent decisions, right? So if I look at application of AI in the context of 5G, it is a combination of the application layer and the network layer, cross coupling them together, understanding the telemetry and the construct of the network, and then making sure the domain specific services are provided to them. Now, if you want to do that, making a doctor takes 10 years to make a good doctor. Making a C programmer, it probably takes 1 year to make a good C programmer. So domain is always hard. The key question is, if I want to make an AI agent that can become a doctor, it's a lot of work, and that happens only because domain learning, domain topology, the knowledge graph creation is a lot more complex. So I think that what is happening is with this national highway and this connotation, fundamentally 5G is becoming a conduit, not only to give the transport pipe, but also host the intelligence in the very fabric of it and cross leverage and then make the life easy for everybody, right?